Hey y'all, welcome back to Spirits Ranch. Shit, not no way. Out here, the off-grid Oracle, doing my thing, you know. One of the things I really love about this time of year, you know, is we get a lot of the spring greens. We have real mild temperature climate out here, and so we'll have the greens come on, you know, and we got a lot of really good stuff like out here, especially in the lower spots. See, I'm down by the creek right now, and here, this one right here is some this Viner's lettuce right here. It's brassica. It's very yummy. This stuff's really sweet, really good, you know. It's not mustardy, it's not bitter. It's real tender. It's kind of like a little bit like chard, you know, and spinach kind of, I would say, kind of crossed, you know. And so it's really good, absolutely delicious, you know. And so I just they're abundant, you know. They grow really well always in areas where they're really thick. They're really thick, but because it's wintertime, they've been they just started to grow, you know, like this is when they just start going. But this is when they're real tender, because they will get tough and not as yummy if you when they get a little bigger, you know. But they'll get big. They get nice and big, you know. And then like I said, they're a brassica, so they're related to broccoli. They're related to like radishes. They're related to kohlrabi. They're related to all that yummy stuff. Kale. You know, chard's not a brassica. It's a goose's foot. I'm pretty sure. I think spinach is as well, because they got a lot of the oxalic acid. So these might not be a brassica. These ones might be related to the spinach. I'm not exactly sure. I have to look that up, but I'm pretty positive that this is Viner's lettuce. It's related to the brassicas, and so that's one of them I like to get. You know, I like to go ahead and take a couple. Don't take them all in one area. Just, you know, take a few here and there, and then leave some to make seed, you know. And this is yellow right here. These are dock. You know, this is dock leaves. Dock leaves are very good for you. The root also is very medicinal. You know, the root is good for your liver, and then the greens are good. They have the same properties, just not as concentrated as what's in the root, you know. But then they're also very nutritious, and they're, you know, they got all the same vitamins, the fiber, and all that stuff that you would get out of microgreens and stuff, you know. So they're another one that I like to harvest. And then we also out here we get a lot of I like to put in some plantain. The plantain's a little bit stronger tasting, but again, plantain is a very good medicine. You know, it's excellent medicine. Most all of these little leafy greens like this are spectacular medicine. They're kind of the ones that that we need to put more of in our diets. Yeah, so they say, especially these though, because like the plantain and stuff, they all got, I can't remember what the plantain medicinal qualities are with the plantain, but it's also another one that I think it heals wounds and stuff like that, but it's also good internally. But I think you use like plantain poultice and stuff on like bruises and cuts and stuff like that. It's good medicine that way, you know. Use it as a poultice. You grind it up, use it as a poultice. And so, if you're living off grid, you know, like for me, it's a long drive to get fresh vegetables, you know, to get fresh greens and stuff like that. If you don't have your garden going, your diet becomes pretty limited. I eat a lot of grains and I eat a lot of meat, you know, like. And not even that much meat, really, like I have in times in my life. But that's kind of my thing, is I do eat a lot of grains, you know. And I try to get vegetables. If I do purchase vegetables at the store or whatever, I always will purchase like cabbage, stuff like that, you know, which is good, you know. But they're not fresh. It's very different, you know. They don't have the same medicinal qualities if they're not fresh, you know. And so that's where I really like my body. I can feel my body really craving these fresh greens and stuff this time of the year, like for sure, you know. And that's just living more closer to the land, you know. That just gets me further away from that grid that a lot of people are stuck in, you know. Because if I'm eating more of what God provides me from underneath my feet like this, you know, then I'm consuming the minerals of the land that is around me, and that's the spirits, you know. And so the more I consume the spirits, as in like the minerals and the nutrients and everything that gives life to the ground around us, to earth and my garden and all the stuff around us, because my garden grows out of soil, right? And these plants, they grow out of that soil. So what they're made out of is sunlight and spirit, right? And the nutrients and minerals, you know, they don't manifest out nothing. And so they just reconfigure all that stuff into plants, right? And then when we eat that, we're consuming the minerals that are closest to us, you know? And so that alters our vibration, our frequency, because now you're vibrating in the same frequency, more similar frequency to everything that's around you, because what you have, that's your building blocks that is building you, is the same stuff that they're built out of, the trees, the frogs, because everything in here, we live in symbiosis, you know, we live symbiotically. And so that tree behind me, it's drinking the same water, it's eating the same nutrients if I'm eating the stuff that comes out of this ground, you know. And so if I'm eating an animal like that sheep that I raised, you know, that sheep's raised on this ground, you know, because it's eating the grass that comes off this ground. And then so the only thing that comes added to that is the water from the sky, which is from God. And then the fire, which is from God with the sun, you know. And that's spirit, right? So these are practices that we really steered away from, you know, as a human being, and we're getting lost in this cycle, you know. This one right here, this is chickweed, there's cleavers. Cleavers is also very, very good for you. It's a little bit rough, it's a little bit like cat's tongue, you know, it's a little like Velcro or whatever, but it's another one. It's really, really good. They're good for like urinary tract infections, stuff like that, you know, kidney infections, urinary, so like anything in your renal system, they're good for your renals. And then they also, I think, are I'm pretty sure they're good for mending wounds with, like if you got a cut or whatever, stuff like that. I think if I'm right, I believe the cleavers make natural Band-Aid, I think, if you make poultice with them. And they'll slow down the bleeding, I'm pretty sure. So if you get a wound. And then these right here, These wild strawberries, you can see these are wild mountain strawberries, right? Those, you can eat those greens too. They're nutrient dense, you know, they're related to the rose. Rose is also one of those that you can eat. They're nutrient dense. And so you can make tea with the leaves. If you're in a situation where you're worried about your balance of your nutrients and everything, you can make a tea of this stuff and kind of form a concentrate, you know, and just drink that tea, you know. You just steep it. Steep a big thing of it, and then you can just drink a bunch of that tea, start drinking gallons of that tea, and that'll be like a nutrient vitamin for you, you know. It'll be like a full spectrum. It'll give you a lot of the nutrients that keep you alive, you know. If I'm not too sure what a plant is, you know, and I don't recommend that everybody does this, you know, but what I do is I just kind of taste it, and if it ain't bitter, it's edible. And it's always worked for me, you know. I don't recommend everybody doing that. I've been out in the woods and stuff my whole life, you know. And so I don't know. Maybe some things that are edible to me ain't edible to you. You never know. Gotta be careful with that, right? And but generally speaking, you know, like with the greens, with the leafy greens, if it's real bitter, if it's something that don't taste good, you know, like you take a little tiny nibble off of it, and it's bitter and it don't taste good, you just don't want to eat it, you know. It may not even be toxic, you know. It's just too bitter to eat. It might actually be really good for you, honestly, because some of the bitter ones are really good for you. But that's something more that you would make tea out of, dry it, make tea. With the ones that you're trying to eat, you know, I just stick with the sweet ones, and it's always served me right. The one that you really gotta watch out for, they don't look the same either, like the leafy greens, you know, maybe when they're young a little bit, but it's just pretty much obvious, you know, what is and what's not. Get yourself a book, you know. Colt's foot. This is colt's foot. Colt's foot is also, again, a very medicinal, and I want to say a renal. I want to say it's good for the renals. All of this is colt's foot though, right here. Very pretty. See, they make really very pretty little white flower. I'll have to double check. I'll put in the description on what some of these herbs are. I'll have to look them up, you know. I can't remember right out of my mind. But, you know, like everything. that God makes, you know, it's all useful, right? But yeah, with these greens, they're yummy. You just take and you can saute them in butter if you want. If you do that way with a little bit of garlic, or you could do them with. I like to put them in soup, you know. Make me some noodles, you know. Nice hot bowl of noodles with some broth, you know. I got some good stock from that sheep that I butchered, and so I'll just use that stock, you know, and heat it up with some noodles, and then right at the end, you know, just put the greens on top, give them a couple minutes to steam up, you know, and then they're yummy. But see, I need to clear all this out. I keep talking about this forest. See, I keep saying it's really choked, you know, and it's choked. Like I need to get rid of all these little trees and just leave a couple of these, but I need to just clear it all out so I get down to these oak trees. This is what it's supposed to be out here. You know, it's supposed to be oak savanna, which is oaks and grass. But you get these Doug firs in here, you know, and so because they logged it, and all these little saplings came in, and they suppressed the fire out here. And then when they suppress the fire, that allows all these little trees to keep growing, you know, and it chokes the forest out. And then what happens is all the leaves and all the needles. I mentioned that in another video. I said I'd take some of this forest dander right here. See this stuff? This stuff right here? That's the good stuff, man. It really is, you know, but too much of it, like you see, because these oak trees, they should be out here and they should be spaced apart from each other with not all these little fir trees like this. They call this peckerwood, you know, where I come from. And so you gotta come in, you gotta get all those out of there. You like leave yourself like one tree like that there, maybe, you know, maybe this big one here, but you take out most of these other ones right here and just leave the oak trees. And then that leaves it open so that the sun could get down to the forest floor, and they don't have all this duff. See all this dander, all this leaves and all this little shit from these little trees, you know, it's just choking out the grass. The grass can't grow, it can't germinate, it doesn't have no sun, you know, it doesn't have any way to grow. And it's buried underneath these leaves, you know. And so, like this stuff right here, this is why California is burning down, you know. And it's by design. They know what they're doing. It's bullshit, you know. The people that manage this property out, this land out here, before we came in and fucked everything up, they knew what they were doing. They didn't allow for this shit, you know. Because this shit right here, when it catches on fire, it burns really hot, you know. It's a lot different when this is just oak trees and grass. The oak trees, they don't burn at all. And then you can come in here, you can burn all the grass every year and never have any problems, you know. But they, regulations and everything, they get real, you know, they got everything all fucked up, man. It's something more people need to take awareness to. Because, yeah, see, that's a little wild radish. This one here is a bracket. Very mustardy, these little ones, but I like them, they're sweet. I like how they're sweet, but they're real hot, like a horseradish, you know. They got a real bite to them. But they're good, you know, they're really nice. They're tasty in a salad. And this right here, this is plantain. And the plantain's all, like I said, it's very good for you. Yeah, these are yummy. See these little ones right here, these little brassicas? These like a little radish or a little brassica. They're really yummy. Real peppery. Like a horseradish. They're good. And so, like I said, you know, the greens out here, they just kind of started. We'll get these couple warm days. Like we've had some really warm days. And then now we got, that plantain right here. Now we have a, that might not be plantain. That one's a little bitter, but I've eaten those before. I can't remember what it is. I don't think it is plantain though. Plantain's kind of a little fuzzy, but there's a bunch of different kinds of plantain too. You know, that's why it's always good to have a book. I just roll with it. I'm kind of like, I am a goat, you know. So maybe that's why I'm the GOAT, you know. And so fucking yeah, I like that shit. I'll eat it all, man. So I'm trying to find here down some good early blackberry bushes. Got a lot of blackberry out here, wild blackberry. Oh, there's frogs in here, you know. Like this one right here. This is mountain blackberry. None of these leaves look very good though. Those are all like last year's leaves. You know, you want to look for the new growth, especially with the blackberry. You want to kind of look for that new growth because otherwise, that last year's growth, it could have harder spines. The new growth, it has soft spines. You can eat tips, you know. And they're tasty, and they're really good for you. They're good for, again, urinary infections, bladder infections, renal. So look at that pussy willow is beautiful. I've been trying to find me some pussy willow to put on the table there when I'm doing my readings. Yeah, this great big slide I was talking about right here. This bottom end of it, because the pond's like right up there. You can see there's a culvert right there. And so out here, it's always moving. It's active fault is what they call it, you know. And so this is like a river, you know. It's like a river of mud, so it's always changing, you know. It's like every time I come out here after the winter time, it looks different, you know. And so it's a real interesting spot right here. It's vortex, you know. It goes down to the halls of Amente, and that's what I think. I don't know if you're familiar with the halls of Amente, but they say they found another passageway over at underneath the pyramids right now. That's kind of cool. Like these little guys right here. See how those little tender, those real bright green tips here, these blackberries? That's the ones you want to get. You want to get them. And those are really good, yeah. And if you're harvesting for medicinal use, you know, because a lot of people use these for tea, these are what you would want to harvest right here. These are the ones. And this is the time of year too. You want to get them right now and they're starting to grow. Once they get old, they just they dilute, you know. You get more fiber and just more water and just more like chlorophyll and all that other shit, you know. When they're real young like this is when the medicinal qualities are real. They're more dense, you know. Yeah, they're more concentrated. That's the word I'm looking for. And so the blackberry leaf, you know, it's kind of got its own flavor. It's not bad though. I would say it's just a little bit, I don't know, you might call it a little bit bitter. It's astringent. That's what I would say. Sure, I think that's what it is. It is an astringent, you know. That's why it's good for your renal system. And so, like, you know, you always got to look at what God is trying to show you, you know, and what God is trying to provide for you. Because if you're willing to just look around you, you're likely going to find what it is that you're searching for, you know, that you need, you know, maybe not even that you're searching for, but what you need, what you actually need, you know. Sometimes we look right over what it is that we actually need, trying to find something we think we need, and we miss the boat with that a lot of times. You know, that's a dangerous way to go about life, you know. I've done a lot of that, and so it's taken me a while to learn to follow the rhythm, follow the pace, follow what God's trying to tell me, and not be so fearful of what it is that other individuals or the human beings are trying to tell me, man. Because we're earth angels, and so we got to understand what our rhythm is, you know. We gotta ground ourselves in the frequency that God is trying to establish within us that is familiar to us the most, you know, because they're going to put us in a place that is where we operate out of our most powerful spot, you know. And so when you come to your realization, when you have your ascension, and you realize that all these pieces are starting to come together, that really makes sense as to why you're where you're at, you know. And you're reconnecting with your past life experiences. You're reconnecting with your internal knowing of who and what you are, because, you know, we've all been through this shit before, man. And so when God ascends you back into your highest power, that's going to be in a place where that's your ancestral heritage, you know. It's going to hold the ancestral power. It's going to be in the currency and in the vibration and in the frequency that you're in. And it's going to recognize you, and then you're going to recognize it, and then you're gonna harmonize yourself with that, you know. And that's what we're trying to do right now as the Earth Angels, man. And so fortunately, there's only 144,000 of us, and so, you know, that's good, because it's a hard process, you know. It's gonna be hard to reprogram 12 people, let alone 144,000. I mean, I'm just saying, man. I mean, you know, that's really what it is, this shit, you know. I mean, this is people, you know, and these people, man, they just come in here and they just throw this shit around. It's buried in the slide right now. I mean, it's all over this field down here. I want to do good here. And it's like everywhere I look, it's just filled with plastic, man. God's people need to start cleaning this shit up, man. Because it's horrible, you know. And like, people need to start thinking differently too, because that's a disease that's plaguing us all, you know. That's something I've talked about this before in another video that I made, where I was talking about the vibration of the stuff that comes out of the pit, you know, the minerals that come out of the pit, like that plastic and everything, you know. And so this is my homeland. This is my my divine right, you know. This is like where God, like, this is where I've ascended, you know. And so God put me here because I vibrate the same frequency as everything that's around me, man. And it's trying to correct me. Like, you know, what's around me right now is trying to correct me right now. It's trying to get me back into the full vibration of what it is that is gonna sustain me, you know, so that I understand what my ancestors are trying to tell me. I'm vibrating in the right frequency. I'm in harmony. And so if there's all this foreign shit being spread all over, like with the chemtrails and with the plastic, with the garbage, with the fuel like that they're pumping up out of the pit, and all this crazy shit that's going on these days, you know, then even the area where God's trying to send me in, it's so contaminated, it's so polluted that it's a real challenge for us chosen ones, you know. Because we're trying to vibrate at God frequency. We're trying to vibrate at the same frequency as these frogs, you know. But even they're losing their harmony, you know. I mean, like they can talk whatever shit they want. Fucking frogs are going gay. I seen the frogs die once, you know. Like they flat died, man. I thought they were gone. It went silent. It was eerie, you know. And they've recovered here. It took them about 8 years to recover. That happened probably about 10, 12 years ago. And I noticed that they've been on the rebound, and they've kind of, but like I said, they haven't fully recovered, you know. And so, Earth angels, you know, we see this shit, man, you know, because no matter what, even if we're not in our, okay, so this is one right here that you don't want to F with. That one right there is cow parsnip. You know, you see this big stalk. See how it has this big stalk right here? And it has these leaves. And these leaves will get real big. It'll unfoil and it'll get really, really big, right? And so it, that one right there, it has a sap in it that will, it'll burn you. It'll give you really big blisters, you know. And so that's cow parsnip. You don't want to mess with it. Leave it be, you know. And then the other one that is actually a cousin of it, and they kind of look similar, is the poison hemlock. And that's the other one that you really don't want to F with. Man, oh, you not at all. It'll kill you. That's what they killed Socrates with, I believe it was. But they that one on the poison hemlock, it's got purple spots all over the stem right here. See how there's no spots on this one? That poison hemlock will kind of look like a carrot. A lot of people confuse it for a carrot because it has a root that looks similar to a carrot, but it's got purple on the stalk, you know, and it doesn't smell like a carrot, you know. Don't mess with that stuff because it'll kill you. And this stuff, I think it's toxic as well, but it will give you blisters like you can't believe. Just the craziest blisters you ever seen. I was in doing some time, you know, and I was on the work crew, and a couple guys, they were weed whacking and some of that stuff. We were out weed whacking on the side of the freeway, you know, for the county, you know. And the guys, they got into that stuff, right, man? But they woke up the next day and it looked like they'd been through a fire. I mean, it was crazy. I'd never seen anything like that before, you know. See poison oak, shit like that. It gets kind of gnarly, but never seen anything like that, you know. See my brother one time, his balls swelled up to be the size of a softball because he had poison oak so bad. Yeah, that was something. Don't mess with that poison oak either, you know. I don't really get that stuff. You know, my brother, he gets it real bad. You know, he works in the woods, man. I've seen him just covered in that stuff out there cutting, you know, working out. He said hook tender, you know, so he sets up all the cables, all poison stuff for logging outfit. But yeah, man, I've seen that guy just covered in that shit. I'm always like, damn, brother, how the hell do you do it, you know? And like, he's pretty tough, man. He's Oregon boy. Hey, strawberry bloom. Little ones right here, these are wild strawberries. And again, they're good for you also, you know. They're just like I said, like the rose, and they're like the blackberry. They all of these are just really good for like the urinary tract, the renals, and they're nutrient dense, you know. And so those greens got a lot of the vitamins and the minerals that we really need, you know. Keep you from getting, they got vitamin C and all that shit. Keep you from getting stagnant, you know. Because you get a little stagnant too much meat and grains, you know. You want to keep that real balanced. I prefer to keep as many vegetables in my diet as I can. You know, I've just been spiritual warfare has kept me real distracted from my garden here these last couple years, man. Like, just life has been chaos, you know. You gotta watch out. You never know what you're getting tangled up in, you know. And it had me reflecting, but not this year, you know. That's good. It's I'm not sure what these are. They're good. It's that binding stuff though, man. People out there, you know, believe in it. It's real. You know, and so over here, getting another load of dirt, you know. It's been 80 degrees today. The little guy's had to go for a swim. The little guy loves going for a swim. And so, yeah, here's the edge. Right there's the cattails. These cattails are also a very good source of food, man. They could be like a potato, you know, the roots are starch. You got a lot of starch in the roots. You can use the leaves and stuff for basket making and shit like that. And then these shafts on them, they use those for their bow and arrow shafts, you know, and then they use the duff off of the seed head right there for insulation, stuff like that, fire starter, you know. So it had multiple uses, the cattail. A good one, starch, you know, you can make starch with it. So you know, starch is very useful for all kinds of stuff, right? And then here is, these are daisies. These are daisy greens right here. And they just now are starting. But the daisy greens, boy, oh yeah, they're yummy. They're very good, the daisy greens. They taste like anise almost. You know, they're real sweet, kind of like, they have a sweetness to them similar to, oh, what's that stuff called? The stevia. They're kind of sweet like that stevia, you know, or like the anise, or like the stuff like that is, you know, the licorice, you know. It has that real sweet flavor to it. They're yummy. I didn't know that for a long time. I tried them here last year, and I was like, damn, those are really good, you know. Again, yummy in a salad, you know. You can make them in a salad with a little bit of like Thai dressing, you know, some sesame seed oil, get some roasted sesame seed oil, some garlic, you know, and a little bit of rice vinegar, some sugar, and then whatever you want. You got some chili flakes. You could add some white pepper. You know, you can experiment with that, but basically, you just basically main thing is the sesame seed oil and the rice vinegar, and then the sugar, a little bit of sugar. You go a long ways with that, you know. Soy sauce, put some soy sauce in there. I like to add a little, fish sauce. That's what it is. Yeah, you got to put fish sauce, you know. A lot of fish sauce. Fish sauce is really good. You should always have several bottles of that stuff. I do. It's just one of those, like, it's grown on me, man. I really like that fish sauce, you know. Yeah, I drink it straight from the bottle. I don't know, it used to stink really bad to me, but nowadays I like it. It's good, man. Oh, here's a nice patch. Yeah, see, and then like a little patch like this, see, it'll get tall. It'll get, you know, they'll get real big, you know, and then have lots of greens here, you know. And you come in and just kind of harvest them like that, you know. And this basically like right here. I mean, even if you get a little grass in there, don't worry about it. Grass is good for you. It's not gonna hurt you. It's fiber, you know. And so like, you just kind of lightly harvest it, you know, and then you give it a week or so. You come back to the same spot here, and there'll be a bunch more for you, you know. They're greens. They're a little small right now, you know. They're just starting, and so, but they take off. We're getting a little more sunshine in here. Here's some that more of that horse or the house parsnip. Yeah, see this stuff right here? You don't want to mess with that stuff. That's one right there. You don't want to mess with it. You really don't. I don't know why I never heard of it until that time when I was in the Hooskow, but I've been around it my whole life, you know. I feel like I even weed whacked in some of it, you know, but sure. Oh, frog. That's red-legged tree frog right there. That's what you hear all that noise coming out of. Them guys right there. I love them. Look at that little guy. Yeah, they're beautiful. I love their song, you know. The way they sing, you know. You see that guy? He looks a little bit skinny, you know. I just hope that they're getting enough to eat. That's what I worry about. That one looks so skinny. See? I don't know, I think they like me anymore, you know. They kind of hang out. I think they're recognizing my frequency, you know. I don't leave, you know, so it's like all I do is just hang out here, right? Yep. That's the tree frog out here. they're very cool, you know. I don't know, you know. I just love them, man. It's part of my life. I was raised in the rainforest, man. I've always lived in the Pacific Northwest my whole life, and so them frogs always been they're real, you know, a big part of my life. You know, I hear them every winter, all winter long. You know, the forest comes alive. That's how around here. It's like I tell everybody, you know, the off seasons in the summertime, really, like, because around here we have two seasons. You know, we got the wet season and we have the dry season, and so when the rains come back, you know, that's when everything comes live. That's when everything wakes up. You know, and so that's our on season, kind of like it's temperate rainforest is what they call it out here. You know, and so that's how it works. It's like we have wet season and dry season, and so right now we're coming into our most abundant time, you know, because we're at the tail end of the wet season, but we get the warm sun, the long days, and so everything grows. Then it goes dormant until about January, pretty much, you know. And so, anyways, I just want to share a little walk in the forest with y'all. Show you some of the greens around here, you know. I'm horrible with my information, but I know what I'm talking about. So, anyways, I got 60 followers. I'm still feeling good about that. More friends I've ever had, you know. So I'm not a big shot like the rest of this world, you know. It's as long as you know, God can compound anything, you know, and that's it. That's just what it is, you know. That's that whole mustard seed thing, man, you know. And so when you put your energy out there, it's out there and it's going somewhere. That's just what it is. Energy's never destroyed, you know. And so, hey, shesh, not on the way here, man. And yeah, no, I ain't fucking around, you know. I keep saying it, you know. It's just what it is, man. Like, but you know, some people fight war with guns, and some people fight war like what I'm trying to show everybody, you know. And that's just what it is. And we're gonna see who's gonna win in the long run because God Most High, He's already chosen sides. Peace out, y'all.